And then they're like, tonight we have a special guest, you know, so-and-so is coming directly from hellfire. We get to interview him. How many people would like to watch that interview? That would be an amazing interview. Right? It's way more interesting than the latest movie celebrity telling us about how, you know, the upcoming movie and how, you know, it was really difficult filming the movie and stuff like that. Who cares? You actually you exhaust your life finding out about things like that. Even at the end of it, yeah, why do you always forget everything that's going on in TV so quickly? Because it means nothing. It's nothingness, right? It's like they say empty calories. It's just nothingness. It's just distraction. That's it. It's just a distraction. But now we're going to listen to a really amazing interview, because we have tonight someone from hellfire who's coming, and he's going to tell us, how'd you get there? Because we definitely don't want it. Now, the interesting thing about a person from hellfire is, from his smell, everybody on earth would die from his smell. Seeing him, everybody would die. Everything related to him, you would die. But let's just imagine that we're protected and we're able to listen to him. So the question is asked, so what did you do to get into hellfire? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Al-Mudaththir, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, عَنِ الْمُجْرِمِينَ مَا سَلَكَكُمْ فِي سَقَرٍ. Because we do have this interview, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recorded it for us in the Quran, that they will question the criminals, what got you into hellfire? What made you arrive into hellfire? So this is the response. قَالُوا لَمْ نَكُ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ وَلَمْ نَكُ نُطْعِمُ الْمِسْكِينَ وَكُنَّا نَخُوضُ مَعَ الْخَائِضِينَ وَكُنَّا نُكَذِّبُ بِيَوْمِ الدِّينِ حَتَّى أَتَانَا الْيَقِينَ. They say, number one reason, they're like, and you imagine they're like, I want everybody to know this. They're saying that the number one reason that they're in hellfire is they never used to do their salah. لَمْ نَكُ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. Because when it comes down to it, your belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you pray to Him. Now, a Muslim, sometimes they get confused. They're like, they don't pray, and they're like, Allah's going to forgive us one day. Now, that's really dangerous. Because actually, the next verses that I'm going to talk about are verses that speak about the munafiqeen. And that's one of the key beliefs of the hypocrites, is that they plant seeds of hellfire thinking that one day God's going to forgive us. But their whole life they planted seeds of hellfire. And so when the seeds come out, did anybody tell you that you have to pray? No, they didn't. Alam ya'tikum nadhir? Didn't somebody warn you? Yeah, they told us. So, number one thing is, قَالُوا لَمْ نَكُ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. If you're not praying your 5 prayers, your fard, and you'll hear me repeat it again and again. Islam is not difficult. You just go to the 5 pillars of Islam, and that's Islam. That will bring you to Jannah. So the number one reason that they got to hellfire, قَالُوا لَمْ نَكُ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. But number 2 is interesting as well. وَلَمْ نَكُ نُطْعِمُ الْمِسْكِينَ. And we never used to feed the needy people. So if this is a characteristic of the highest characteristics of the people that went to hellfire, ask yourself, when was the last time you fed a needy person? I can even say, when was the last time you donated anything? And I'm saying that that's just our culture. We don't donate. Yeah, the masjid sometimes, someone will say, brothers, sisters, please donate to the masjid, right? We donate to the building. When was the last time you donated anything? Right? If you put a coin in the box, you would hear it clang at the bottom. Correct? Do you agree? So someone try it out after. There's nothing in the box. Correct? Do you agree with me? Now, if the people of hellfire said, we were never amongst those who used to feed the needy people, it wasn't our characteristic. This is what a characteristic of the people of hellfire. And so what you need to do, and now the masakeen, the needy people, are we talking about Muslim needy people? Of course, they're included, but needy people is anybody needy. Is anybody needy? When you see people downtown asking for money, immediately everybody thinks they're going to use it on drugs, right? They're going to use it to buy drugs. Allah, I'm not going to give them. Okay, you didn't give them. Who did you give then? I'm going to give it to the Muslims. Okay, great. When did you give it to the Muslims? Never. It's just you didn't give that guy and you didn't give anybody. And so you don't know this guy, even though maybe he does have drugs or something like that, do you think he needs to eat? And if he just buys drugs with his money, he's not going to eat. So eating, if you didn't know, was one of his needs. So now this person, subhanAllah, I was once, and I'm not saying like I run around downtown all the time giving people. It's a reminder for myself, a reminder for you. I was once downtown one place. I said, you know what? I'm going to give these needy people. They were actually sleeping outside. This was in Boston once. They were sleeping outside. I've seen people sleep on the street like that in Hajj time. But these people have a home just in Hajj. They're just sleeping on the street. I've seen that before. In downtown Boston, you'll see people sleeping in the street. They have no home. They're on the street. And so I said, you know what? I'm not going to give them money. I'm going to go in. I'm going to buy some food for them. And I went in, and there was people asking for money outside the door. But I said, you know what? I'm going to buy them food and just give them the food. So I bought all these, sandwiches and so on and so forth. And then I came outside, and I saw them counting their money. The guys were sitting there. Here's 10 cents. Here's 25 cents. Here's the money that you donated. And I gave them the sandwich. And they're like, thanks, man. We were just putting our money together to see if we could buy one. And then I went to the people. Some of them slept, and I'm sure that they slept without eating. And I put the sandwiches, by their beds. Somewhere that no one would steal it from there, but somewhere if they woke up, they would find the sandwich there. It is the characteristic of the people of hellfire that they do not feed the needy people. And so again, understanding that, you now know what the characteristic of the people of Jannah are. They feed the needy people. وَكُنَّا نُكَذِّبُ بِيَوْمِ الدِّينِ. They used to just, khawd is just, they just dwell into matters. It's like their disbelief and their philosophy and all of this stuff. All this disbelief, they just kept going on and on and on about it. It's actually interesting, subhanAllah, there's a statement. They said, in recorded history, there has never been known to be a happy philosopher. They're all depression. They're all depressed. All the philosophers, they're all depressed. Right? They're just talking and talking and talking. وَكُنَّا نُكَذِّبُ بِيَوْمِ الدِّينِ. Nukadhib means, basically, we used to disbelieve. Even in the English language, I don't like saying that disbelieve. You don't understand what disbelieve means. Rather, every time someone told them that there's a hereafter, they say, you're lying. You're lying. It's not true. There's a hereafter. No, you're lying. It's not true. They just kept doing takveeb. They would say, it's not true. We don't believe in you. This is not true. And they'd keep going on and on like that.